thanks everyone for joining us. Welcome to the Rescued Sales webinar. We're going to talk about all of the different opportunities you may have of missing sales that we're going to obviously want to plug those holes and find ways to rescue them. If at any point during this webinar you have any questions, you have something you want further clarification on, anything like that, please feel free to send in a question, send in a chat. We like to make this really back and forth and make this more of a group discussion than really just the Victoria and Andrew show. So we'll be here. I'll be reading through the questions and the comments as we go along. And then, of course, we'll put this up on YouTube and our site and all these other fun places too. So if you have questions ever, feel free to come back and comment, and we'll definitely make sure to help you out. But I would love to start off some introductions so you know why we're talking to you and who we are. So Victoria, I'll let you start this off if you'd like.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thanks for having me. So I'm Victoria. I'm the marketing manager here at Payability. I've been here for almost a year and a half now. And I have almost 10 years of social media and digital marketing experience. I love the partner marketing aspect of what I do. So hence why I'm here. I got married in September, and I do love yoga. As I was mentioning before, it's great yoga classes here in the Soho neighborhood where Payability is, and I also love wine. And sometimes, after class, I can also be found with a glass of wine.
Nice, congrats on the newlywed. I'm Andrew Maffetone. I'm the Director of Operations and Marketing here at Seller's Choice. I am also married, not newly, it's been a while. Still nice though, but I do love a good glass of whiskey. Sometimes they're related, sometimes they're not. I've been in the e-commerce industry for 6-7 years now. I've been doing digital marketing for almost 12, I think. I've helped a ton of different sellers over the years. I've been in different agencies, but I've also been with different sellers in-house. So I've been definitely on the digital marketing aspect for a very long time. Been here at Seller's Choice for a while now, a couple of years at least. And we are more of a full service digital marketing company. So we really are going to touch on as many different aspects of your e-commerce business today as possible.
Awesome. And
click, there we go. So, of course, just like any other webinar, we're gonna have some fun stuff at the end. We'll have some giveaways, we'll have a Q&A so we can answer any questions that we may not have been able to get to throughout the entire webinar. And then, of course, we'll have our fun little sign out and all that and everything. So, of course, if you're watching this right now, please stick around. So, why are you here? What are we doing? Why are we having this webinar? What's the whole point? What's the point of anything? I'm not going to get into philosophy, but I will talk about what we're talking about today. So we're doing rescued sales. So rescued sales, kind of a broad concept. What we're going to try and stick to are all of the opportunities where you may be losing that customer or where you may be completely missing out on a customer altogether just because of different opportunities you may have missed out on. So if you're in the right place, of course, you're tired of leaving money on the table, Payability and Victoria are going to dive super deep into proper ways to finance for inventory and stuff that's way over my head on an operational side. So I'm going to stick to the marketing side. Victoria will stick to kind of an operational side. And then that way we can kind of have this big encompassing awesomeness of rescued sales. And then maybe you're just really good looking. I like to add that in there. I don't know why, but I've always added it in there. Okay, so let's kick this off. So of course, retargeting ads. So I'm going to start off with the marketing side of things a little bit here. Victoria, who is just an awesome marketer, as I'd like to think that I will be one day. She's going to try and understand this stuff too. So retargeting ads. Thanks. So retargeting ads. So this one is pretty standard. I wanted to kind of ease into stuff. My suggestion with retargeting ads is to always have them set up. I don't care what you sell. We've worked with sellers who have really boring, not social media friendly stuff like telecommunications products or like vacuum filters or something that's just like super not fun. And then we've had other stuff that are really fun, and people don't realize that sometimes you don't know what the person's situation is. So they could have been shopping and got distracted, or they could have been shopping and weren't too sure, or they could have been shopping and meant to go back on desktop and shop there if they were shopping on mobile and come back later. And there's so many situations where someone may have started the process and then left. And now the second they leave, it's a endless amount of opportunity for them to fall into a competitor's hands and shop elsewhere. So we always suggest having the social media retargeting ads set up. Of course, you have all the different Google display ads and things that you can set up to kind of give them that visual reminder to come back. But what we like to tweak that's a little bit different than your average retargeting. So your average retargeting ad is who came to your site and didn't purchase, and that's it. But a lot of people don't realize that you can get really segmented, especially with Facebook ads, and Google ads give you some room on this as well, but hitting them dependent on where they actually landed. So a lot of times you'll get the people who come to your homepage and then leave. I wouldn't even bother retargeting them half the time because they weren't that interested in digging into your site. But if they went to a specific product page, or they went to an About Us page, or they went to maybe an area where you have testimonials, you can tell by what that person is doing on your site, what they were originally looking for, what they were originally trying to find, and retarget them with specific ads. So although a standard retargeting is usually just one ad, think outside the box of how you can segment everyone within those lists. And of course, you also have your abandoned cart campaign. So that person was so close to purchasing. And then of course they left, and now you want to rescue that sale, which I'm wondering how often I'm going to try to say that during this webinar. But the abandoned cart, so they've gotten like all the way up to the finish line and then tripped and left. So what you want to do is send an abandoned cart, but just remind them of what products are in there. So you have your dynamic ads. So on a lot of social campaigns and through a lot of Google ads, and if you've used like AdRoll or Criteo or any of those sort of display advertising companies, they can help you with a more dynamic ad, which essentially is showing you the product that was in your cart. So that's kind of that reminder of like, hey, this is still waiting for you. This is still here. Like, come finish the deal. And then, of course, discounts and coupons and all that fun stuff can help. But it's definitely something where we suggest to kind of show them something that has actually still been there to kind of get them to come back. And then personalizing it as much as you can. So to give you an example, when we talk about personalization, I always think of this one person we work with. So it's this really large seller who sells collegiate apparel, and it's we do a lot of like college sports stuff, and I'm a stereotypical guy, so I really like it. And the difficulty we always have is he's got 70, 80 different colleges he works with, so we have to create 70 or 80 different ads based on the college because we want that person to see an ad on the team that they like. And it's always a great example to us to use when we're talking about stuff like this because, so I'm originally from South Florida. I went to school in Central Florida, so I was a UCF fan. And if I recently lost to a team and got an ad based on that team, even if I was like 5 seconds away from buying, I am no longer shopping on that site because the last thing I want to see is that team's ad. So personalizing it as much as possible is always a great way to do things. And if you can drive them back to a landing page, you have different ways of personalizing the landing page as well. So if you're using something, some kind of marketing software, whether we usually use like HubSpot or something like that, but there's a ton of different ones out there where you can actually change different call to actions or different images or anything based on who's visiting. And that can really personalize the experience. So making it seem like this ad was run specifically for you really helps entice that person to shop a little bit more likely than they would have before. And that's retargeting ads.
Awesome. Yeah, we do this at Payability too. So everybody should be doing it.
Yeah, I get Payability sometimes too, of course, because as I'm talking to you guys, I'm on your site or I visit something. And I'll get yours all the time, so I see yours too. We did a webinar actually with ShipStation a few months ago, and I get their retargeting ads all the time. And it's a lot of them are based on the page I went to and how it looks, but theirs is get ship done, and on social it gets me every time. I'm like, and I want to click on it, but I know them, so I don't want them to pay for it.
That's nice of you.
Oh, they're good at this. So the retargeting emails, your abandoned cart emails, your browser abandonment. So this is another one. So obviously they've left. So the browser abandonment email is a difficult one just because the only way that you can hit someone with a browser abandonment is you've had to have had their email before. So that's where gated content, different lead flows, or just past purchases, all that stuff has to come into play. But what we're talking about obviously today is rescuing sales too. So, so I lost my spot now. So the browser abandonment emails, right? So you want to be a little careful with these just because you don't want them to trigger every single time someone visits. So you want to make sure that you kind of trigger these where they'll go, but it won't trigger to a person again for at least 2-3 months. Because if I go to a site and then I go, oh, I'm going to go buy on desktop, now I got an email. Then I go to my desktop, I go to buy, and then my dinner's burning, so I got to run away, and then I'm getting another email. I'm like, wow, this is kind of getting annoying. But having that browser abandonment set up, and you can see actually on the one that we've set up here, which if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I can do like a whole thing on, did it work? Come on. There's a way on here that I can actually highlight. Yeah, that. I love go-to webinars. They're fun toys. So this little section down here in the cart abandonment, I'll touch on in a second here. So this is dynamic as well. So you can actually change these out depending on who you're using. In some cases, for emails like this, we like to use Klaviyo. There's MailChimp, there's Drip, there's Constant Contact. HubSpot's got some too, but having those dynamic products. So essentially on a browser abandonment, you can change these to show up based on what they visited. So in this case, this is a client we've worked with who sells different like gift baskets of like nuts and things like that. And what we've done is if you visited a page that was relevant to a gift basket of nuts, we're going to try and get you to come back, but we're going to show you some stuff that the other customers like too, because it's very possible that maybe you just weren't interested in that one. And no search functionality is completely perfect, so maybe we'll try to trigger them that way. But then we also want to give them the opportunity to, you know what, maybe right now just wasn't the time. So at least follow us on social, give them some other options. Most of the time, the biggest thing I hear with emails is have one call to action, have one thing for them to do, and don't give them anything else to do. On a retargeting email, I typically disagree with that because I want to give them options. If you meant to buy something, there's a reason you didn't buy it. So I would like to give you the option to come back, but just in case, I'm going to show you some other things too. So this isn't as simple as a, go buy now. It's a little bit more of just a, hey, we're still here. Don't forget about us. The cart abandonment, that one you can get a little bit more specific on. So this one, we still kind of have the similar approach, and we've been A/B testing some different things. But of course, a cart abandonment, we always like to do a discount or a coupon code or anything like that. But what I usually suggest to do to keep them coming back, but to be careful on margins, is you don't want to have your first cart abandonment email immediately with a discount code. I know a lot of people, the easiest, quickest way to get someone to come back is to give them a discount, but at a certain point, it can cheapen your brand no matter who your brand is. So what we usually suggest is to just send them an email as a reminder and then wait maybe 24 hours again before you send them another one with a coupon, just because a lot of people start their shopping experience on mobile now and then will prefer to still shop on desktop. So you don't want them to look on their phone and then go, oh, I'm going to buy this and not come back and be like, oh, I'll get it later tonight at when I get home. And then by then they've already got an email with a discount code and they were going to buy in the first place. So you want to be a little bit careful with that, but you can again show them the different products that they may have been interested in purchasing. Now if I can figure out how to get rid of this highlight stuff. There it goes. It's back. Whoops. All right, so pop-ups. People get really annoyed with pop-ups, and I think it's because they have the same name as those old like AOL, Yahoo pop-ups that used to drive people crazy, and they'd be like 1,500.
Oh yeah, they'd be like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, buy now, and you'd be like, no, and they'd be like, yes, and you'd be like, well, no, and it would just keep going at you. Like, I get why that's annoying. So I almost want to give these new names. Like we're HubSpot partners. We're in HubSpot all the time, and theirs is called I think it's lead flows or something. And love HubSpot, work with them all the time, but their lead flows or whatever they call them are ugly. So we don't use them. So I prefer to use Privy. So I gave them a little love here. Super customizable. You can A/B test, all that fun stuff. I'm not here to sell Privy, so we'll get that until later. But anyway, on the pop-ups. So you have different ways that obviously you can trigger a pop-up, and you want to be very, very careful with these. There's so many ways that you can abuse this gift, and there are ways that you can absolutely just hit people with the wrong message at the wrong time, and you can hit people too often. So the nice thing I liked about their platform that we've used is that basically you can say like, show them this pop-up once and never show that to them again. So once they X out, you lost it, too bad. Like, that is what it is. Or show it to them once and don't show it to them again for 6 months in case they come back. But so let's think about rescuing sales, right? So 3. So we're looking at someone who is about to purchase and did it. So your standard pop-up when they show up, they still may be a purchaser. So we want to rescue the ones that are potentially leaving. So you have the exit intent pop-up. So if someone has a little mouse and they're like, oh, shopping around, they're like, oh, I don't like this. And then they're going to exit the browser. As soon as that mouse starts to move up and goes to exit the browser, right before they click out, the exit intent will pop up. And so what we usually like to do is have one that's really bold and really obvious, and it says something like, oh, wait, you're leaving, or stop, or don't go, like, here's a discount, don't leave yet, you know. And then typically the exit intent is that last chance for you to rescue them before they leave. On an abandoned cart side, you can do a very similar thing. So right as they're going to leave, or right as they're going to hit like a cancel button or anything like that, you can hit them with a 10% off. Now, if you have someone who's not the world's best mouse user and scrolls over the button, yes, it's going to trigger, such as life. But sometimes these things happen. But having that little extra to show them something, even on an abandoned cart side, maybe you don't want to offer them a discount. Maybe you just want to have like, here's a quick pop-up of reviews or a testimonial of what someone said, and show a little bit of social proof to still drive the thought home. But there's a lot of different opportunities for you still to show something to them right before they leave. So again, you know, we're looking to rescue the sale, and I'm not going to count them anymore, but you're looking to rescue the sale. So if someone's going to leave, you want to make sure that you get in front of them right before they leave and try to save it before they get off your site. So, all right, so we're gonna ease into a little bit of the operational side, sort of, kind of. So, so cash flow is always the biggest issue, right? So, which I'm not going to get too deep on. I'm going to let Payability run that one. But cash flow is always an issue because you're always like, okay, like, hey, I have seasonal months. I have this month that does well. I have this month that does bad. And it becomes an issue with this and that, and it's a pain. And then you also have inventory projection. So it's like, oh, am I going to need more inventory? And then you sell out inventory, and that's a problem. And it becomes a real big pain. So what we've always suggested is if you have a product that has the ability to be a subscription product, we always suggest to put it into place. If someone doesn't do it, it is what it is. I've spent my last job a couple of years ago before I was here with Seller's Choice. I worked in-house somewhere where they sold a bunch of like vacuum filters and stuff like that. And it was definitely not the world's sexiest product, but at the same time, it was something where, you know what, instead of me remembering that I need to replace my water filter or something like that, what if I just set up a subscription? So what we did is we would set up a subscription, and every time someone bought one product, we would do a box stuffer, or we would do a retargeting ad or anything like that, and it would send them to a landing page based on that specific product that they purchased, and it would give them a discount as an incentive to set up a subscription plan. And what this did was it got people to subscribe, so I could then go, oh, great. Yes, they have the opportunity to subscribe, but I can see how many subscribers I have. I can see the frequency that they're placing the order. And now I have a very projectable cash flow. I have a very projectable inventory of what I know I'm going to need over the next few months. And then the biggest benefit that I always see out of it is sometimes the issue is you don't know the lifetime value of your customer as easily as you should if they just bought one or two products here and there. And knowing the lifetime value of your customer as a marketer really helps, because on my end, I can go, okay, yeah, you have, your cost of your one product is X. However, your subscription or the lifetime value of your customer is actually Y. So we can actually spend a little bit more on advertising because your average customer stays with you and purchases multiple times. So we want to focus on the cost per acquisition as opposed to just the cost per sale. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to realize that, okay, I have a little bit more room with advertising, and you could start to knock competitors out a lot faster if you start to focus on keeping your customer a lot longer.
Great idea. Great plan.
I like it. And then the other side is the quantity break. So this is one of those things where we always suggest this with clients as well, where we basically say like, okay, if you have a product where, yeah, I could get one, but it might be easier for me to get two, or it might be easier to get three. So in this example, we actually have someone we work with where we did the subscribe and save option, but we also did a quantity break. So yes, we want someone to subscribe, and that's the goal. But if they buy just one bottle, three bottles, or six bottles, we then retarget them and add to a landing page that's to get them to subscribe, because I want that projectable cash flow. But at the same time, by giving them this opportunity to buy more of the product, some people just don't like commitment. I'm married, Victoria's married, so clearly that's not us, but sometimes people don't like commitment. So if they don't like the commitment side of things, then they just want the opportunity to buy one, two, or three bottles. But if for some reason you can give them a break by buying two, buying three, you're saving on shipping, you're saving on a lot of different aspects of that. And so now you're actually going to see your conversion rate increase by giving your customer more options and letting them shop how they want, and your average order value is going to go up. So again, if you can get that average order value to go up, then get them to retarget and to actually look at the lifetime value of the customer, now all of a sudden you have this much larger margin that you have room to work with to acquire more customers and start knocking out all the competitors. So it really kind of comes in and works together to give as many options as you can. And I know not every product has this opportunity, like phone covers. I don't know why so many people go into phone covers, but we get companies with phone covers all the time, and no, you're not going to want to subscribe to a phone cover unless you can come up with some cool reason why. And then two, you're not going to want to buy a bulk amount of phone covers usually you just have one. So yes, it doesn't work for everyone, but if you have a product, sometimes I'm shocked at the people who didn't think like, oh yeah, people may want to buy this more than once.
Yeah, I do this all the time when I buy shampoo. I love that. I love when they give me that option, because I'm like, oh, I really like this shampoo and I run out pretty fast. So I kind of could use two and I can save $1. It's great.
Yeah, and you still have that side too, where if you bought it, maybe you bought, like in this case, maybe, or shampoo. So maybe you bought one bottle, you tried it, you go, wow, this was great. And then you're still a little on the fence. You're like, no, I'm going to buy one bottle again. And no, this shampoo is good. This experience with them is awesome. I love it. Then you're going to go, okay, I'm just going to buy 3 or 4 bottles at a time now, because I can get a little bit of discount and I know that I'm going to use them. And then maybe at a certain point, one day you run out and you're so tired of running out that you go, you know what? I'm just going to subscribe to this. It'll show up every 3 or 4 weeks. I'll have shampoo in my house all the time. Obviously, the goal would be for everyone to subscribe to as many products as possible and never have to go grocery shopping, because I hate grocery shopping, and that's what I'm trying to get at here.
It's the future.
So this one's one I always like to touch on, and this is actually me. So I actually messaged Papa John's because I was home late one night after some fun with friends and wanted to order some pizza, and they like weren't open right at when I ordered like 10-15 minutes before they closed. I didn't know this. I'm not that kind of guy. I would have found out they weren't closing and I would have said never mind. But I went to place the order and the order went through, and then I wasn't alerted for like 45 minutes that they had closed. So I was not thrilled. So I'm honestly, Twitter's like my favorite way to get some free stuff. So if you ever want free stuff, go on Twitter. But so I messaged Papa John's. I was like, hey, what happened here? So the like it was 10:22 by the time that they actually let me know, and they closed at 10. I was like, this is amazing how fast you guys just responded. So they gave me this really quick response. They were really polite. It was absolutely a person. It was absolutely someone who was, well-spoken and I wasn't fished off to anyone overseas or anything like that. And they offered to, obviously they couldn't replace it because I didn't get anything, but they offered to, they gave me a free pizza, and I used that code already, so don't even try. Well, try, I don't really care, but I used it already. But the fastest, like quick way they gave, they had these little emojis and they had like some actual like feeling behind it. And they have this great way of connecting with the customer. What you don't want to do is you don't want to get on the defense. You want to be on their side. You want to acknowledge their feelings. So basically what will happen is, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. I hate when that happens. I can totally take care of this for you, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people don't realize that the customer service side is a great way to rescue a sale again. So basically what happens is when someone is upset and they no longer want to shop with you. You offer them a refund, you offer a replacement, or however you can make them happy. And maybe they're not the right customer for you, but they had a good experience. So they may know people who are much like them, but they are the right customer for you, and they're going to tell their friends. There's been a lot of times where I've shopped with someone and something didn't go right, or it didn't fit, or I didn't like the way it tasted, or whatever it was. But I had such a great experience that I would tell people like, hey, I'm not a big fan of their food. However, they were great. Or, hey, they sent me the wrong size and it didn't work out, but I got a really fast response. So they were great to work with. So you get that level of comfortability. It's an Amazon thing. Like with Amazon, people get so comfortable with, easy returns and quick turnarounds and easy refunds. And because of that, people shop with Amazon. They just keep coming back. So giving that level of customer service can really rescue some of those sales that you may have lost. And even if they don't, they're going to actually start to expand the knowledge or not expand the knowledge, expand the word of mouth behind it and the social proof to actually get people to come back and purchase.
Yeah, that's totally true. I used to have friends in college, and I wouldn't suggest doing this as a way to rescue sales, but it's kind of funny because you mentioned Papa John's, where it was the same thing. They would order a pizza after a late night out. Papa John's would be closed, and then they would still take the order at 11 a.m. The doorbell would ring, and there'd be your Papa John's pizza from last night. So it used to happen all the time in college. Not a great way to rescue sales. This customer service experience is way better, but I couldn't resist to tell the story.
All right. Operations time.
Okay, so inventory FOMO. So for those of you who don't know, FOMO stands for fear of missing out. So you don't want to miss out on sales. As you see, we have all these opportunities to get your products in front of the right people and to get people buying, but like when they were going to leave your site. But you've got to have the inventory in stock in order to take advantage of these opportunities, and that's kind of where Payability comes in. So we're a financing company for Amazon and e-commerce sellers. We have also customers in addition to Amazon across Walmart, Shopify, Etsy, Top Hatter, Jet, you name it. We're constantly adding new marketplaces too. Anyway, here's where you come in. Payability really exists because, sellers don't always have the financing, but they definitely have the customers there when it comes to Amazon and all these other, awesome marketplaces that have really created seemingly unlimited demand among consumers. So you really do need, continuous financing in order to fill these orders. Say you do one of those retargeting campaigns and it really takes off, but you don't have enough inventory to fill every single order you could possibly fill. That's a huge missed opportunity. And in Payability, we help sellers, really turn that around and fill those orders. So I guess what makes us different from, a regular financing company, and makes us more for e-commerce sellers is that, we don't check credit. It's all of our underwriting is based on, account health and sales performance. So we can approve you within 24 hours, get you your money within 24 hours, and, you can jump on that opportunity. And we have two products. One is our daily cash flow product, which is, it's not a loan or anything. It's just getting your own money out of Amazon faster. So you're going to get access, instead of waiting every 14 plus days, you're going to get access to yesterday's sales today. So you can just keep, putting money back into your business. For example, if one of these campaigns takes off and you need to order more shipping materials or more inventory, you really can at the drop of a hat because you can just cash out, take advantage of the sales you already made, and not have to worry about getting a loan or getting approved or missing out on the other opportunities, because you probably realize speed is key. And we have another product called Instant Advance, which works really similarly, but it's just a kind of like a merchant cash advance for Amazon and e-commerce sellers. So we're going to give you up to a month's worth of payouts in one lump sum, so you can again make that big inventory order and take advantage of big opportunities. You can get your money in 24 hours, so that's pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah, it's one of those things like with financing. It's like all of a sudden someone says the word financing, and most sellers I know just go, "Oh, I don't care." Like it's always really interesting, and I don't mean that like in a bad way towards
No, I
payability. What I'm
definitely see
saying
it
is like,
sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, it's one of like it's financing is one of those things like you don't want to deal with it, but at the same time, it's literally how your business is run. Like you don't want to have we could scale back to some of them, but like all of a sudden you start doing a retargeting ad and it works great, and maybe it's hilarious, and then all of a sudden it takes off and the thing goes viral, and you have nowhere near enough inventory to handle it, and you don't have nearly enough capital to handle it, and you can't turn it around fast enough. You're seeing that all of a sudden things are taking off and you have nowhere to go. So I really like the side of, being able to have someone like Payability like on your side that's always willing to kind of just, it's always that easy, like we're here for when stuff like that happens, or bad inventory.
Yeah.
How many times have I heard, manufacturers who like made a product wrong and it got sent out to a ton of people, and now it's all your fault, and the customers are pissed off. You have nothing to do, and you're like, what do I do? How do I fix this? And your manufacturer is just sitting there like, oh, we can fix it, but it's going to take some time, and they're not going to cover all the costs. And there's so many things outside of it that get out of the way that if you have the proper financing in place, your business won't tank overnight.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about like the speed and flexibility that you have, that you can jump on all these opportunities. And you work really hard on finding the right keywords, putting together these awesome campaigns. Why let that go to waste? When you can get money in 24 hours, or even just access to your own money faster, and just take that next step in your business. So no more FOMO.
No more FOMO. No FOMO. All right. So I would love to know, obviously, if you guys feel like you are ready to succeed at rescuing said sales. I wanted to get like some cool little like life jackets and more stuff on this one, because I was really going on the whole rescuing thing. I don't know why. Once I get into these things, I like adding goofy pictures sometimes. Um, but really appreciate everyone that joined us. Obviously, if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to reach out. Let us know. I love webinars like this that are not an hour and a half long and just kind of go straight to the point and like, hey, here's all the great stuff that you need to know, that you need to be working on, and great, go ahead and go back with your day, because obviously you have stuff going on. But really appreciate everyone coming out. And oh no, what happened to my GIF? It broke. All right, so I'm gonna have to tell you guys it.
It's a good GIF though.
Yeah. So, of course, we always have some fun stuff to give away. So on my end, I know one of the things I always like to give away is just a nice little marketing audit. I love just talking shop and kind of just, just nerding out for a little while. So what I do is I always like to have these little marketing audits where I'll just get on a call, we'll dig through what you guys are doing, and I'll explain like, hey, you should try this, you should do this. It is not a sales pitch. You don't have to work with me at the end of the day. I'm not asking for your firstborn child or anything. I'm just going to dig through what you're doing and make some suggestions, and that's it. The password is baboon, which is why I made that little GIF there. And the website is sellerschoice.digital/webinar-contest. I will send out an email later with that actual link, since no one ever writes stuff down anymore. And then I also have a book, which you can't see, but it's for automated emails. So that's that browser abandonment, that cart abandonment. There's a ton of others in there too that can really help you on the limiting the amount of sales that may be falling through the hole. So that you can just, it's through a bit.ly, so bit.ly/sc-auto emails. And again, don't really expect anyone to write that down, so I will send that out in an email after this as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we also have some deals for you too. You can check out both of our products, our daily payments products or our lump sum of growth capital. Again, no credit checks, get your money in 24 hours. And jump on those opportunities, because obviously your retargeting campaigns are going to be awesome, and you're going to be selling a lot of inventory. So sign up at Go. That's go.payability.com/sellerschoice. Again, that's go.payability.com/sellerschoice, and I'm sure I'll figure out how to email that to you too.
I'll throw it in. No problem.
Awesome.
Again, if anyone's got any questions, obviously feel free to reach out. I try to be relatively active on social. And then, both of us, if any of you are Amazon sellers, I will be at Prosper. Victoria will be at Prosper.
Yeah.
Apparently, Victoria's first time in Vegas, so please
I know.
stop by and do something Vegas-y to her. I don't know.
That's
Actually,
true.
don't do that.
We're going to be hearing about Vegas FOMO now.
Stop by, say hi, and then of course we'll both be there, so we'll hang out. If you have questions, you can stop by either of our booths and ask us there, or you can reach out to either of us however you would like to. But we really appreciate everyone joining us. Thank you so much, and we will see everyone again next time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I will make sure I get the video out to everyone as well as the slides if you ever need to reference them. But that was all we had for today. So Victoria, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Bye, guys. Thanks. Enjoy the day.